good morning. It's Crazy Cheap Chick, and today I'm going to make some healthy raw cookie dough dip. It's made out of chickpeas, but don't tell anyone it has beans in it because you can't taste them, and it is delicious. I got it off a website called Chocolate Covered Katie, I think. I'll put a link to her recipe. I do mine just slightly different because I don't like it as sweet and I'm trying to diet. And when you're trying to diet, sometimes just having a little something to take the edge off helps. And I love this recipe. So let's get cooking. We're going to start with a can of chickpeas, and I've drained them, and we're just going to put them in the food processor. Next is an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. I think her recipe called for like an 1/8 and a 1/16. My spins don't even go to a 1/16, and I am not that particular. And now we're going to add an 1/8 of baking soda. 1/8 baking soda. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I already added 1, so that's 2. I make my own vanilla, but you can use any kind of vanilla. Next is peanut butter. 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And I just used the honey flavored kind. It's a little bit sweeter, a little bit more calories too. But I'm not going to add as much sweetener as Chocolate Covered Katie's recipe does. And a 1/4 cup milk of your choice. I just use cream because I rarely buy milk. Now we're going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of instant oats. You could also use almond flour or flax according to her recipe. I was going to use almond flour, but I'm out, so I'm going to use oatmeal. And that's what I've used before, and it turned out really good. So let's start with 2 and see what consistency we get. Now let's go ahead and blend this up. That's the consistency with 2. I think I'm going to add another tablespoon of oats. And then for my sweetener, I'm going to use honey. I'm going to start with about 1/3 cup of honey. Her recipe called for 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and I remember that being really super sweet, way sweeter than I wanted it to be. So I'm just going to try honey. It's pretty sweet, but I'm going to add just a tad more honey. And then we're ready for our chocolate chips. I think her recipe called for 1/3 cup. And I use these little mini chips. And I'm not going to measure, so I don't want a ton. That's probably about 1/3 cup, don't you think? Let's mix it up. There it is. It's a little, to me, it's a little thin, probably because I used honey. Might have to add just a little bit more oatmeal. And you're going to play with this recipe and love it. Yeah. And get it the consistency you want and the sweetness you want. I'm going to try that, and I think that's going to be perfect. So there it is, raw cookie dough dip. There's no eggs in it. Beans are your basis. People can't believe, though, when they eat this, that it's made out of beans. Good. That will satisfy your sweet tooth, and you're getting a lot of fiber. Now, here's the finished product. It looks just like cookie dough. You can serve it with graham crackers and use graham crackers to dip it. I prefer to use apple slices and just dip an apple slice in there. It's really super sweet. I just used honey instead of brown sugar, and you can use as little or as much sweetener as you want. But if you're on a diet, you want to keep your sweetener down. I like it dipped in apples. So I cut up half an apple and a couple of teaspoons of this and dip the apple in it, and it's delightful. So good. I will tell you, I gave some to my grandson, and he was about 12, and he's like, "This is really good, Nana. I really like it." And I said, "I know, and it's got beans in it." And he went and spit it out. But he loved it until I told him that. So don't tell people what the secret ingredient is. Just serve it and let them enjoy it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you soon.